Now, God had Moses. You go to Exodus chapter 25, 22. I got it right there. Holy Bible. And 2 Kings 2:11. I got that. It's and in Deuteronomy 34, 1-7. These are the reference I got wrote here. Elijah was 2 Kings 2:11. And Deuteronomy 34, 1-17. This Moses had to be called up. So when God had Moses, you find that in Exodus chapter 25, the bill of mercy separate from the ark. The mercy becomes Jesus Christ, the same as the ram. The ram would change into the mercy because he would become the burden of the sacrifice for the whole entire world. But he told him to place one cherubim on one end of the mercy and attach it on to the mercy, and one on the other, and he will commune with him from the voice that would come up from the mercy seat between these two cherubim. So the cherubim, one would be the spirit of Moses, and the other cherubim would be the spirit of Elijah, who he was going to come up and attach them on to Jesus Christ, which was symbolized by the symbol of the mercy seat. So, if you go to Isaiah, that means, so once he took and called Moses up, which shows you in Deuteronomy 34, 1-17, Moses died. God called him up. They never saw him. Elijah, the chariot, came and called up Elijah, and he went and attached him onto it. Then the prophecy takes you to the prophecy of Isaiah, speaking of Jesus, how he was going to be born, because he had to catch a spirit of Moses first, and the spirit of Elijah next, because Elijah had to come back as John the Baptist, as this she-goat, as a ram, and 2 rams spoken of in this part here as cousins from the same pedigree. I had to be yet attached on to Jesus Christ because I need the substance of a man. I couldn't be born. So if Jesus had been born by the substance of a man, I would have been born twin to Jesus Christ. But by Jesus Christ not being born by the substance of man, I could not be born because I needed the substance of a man to be born. So I remain entombed in Jesus as the blood of the Lamb, as the spirit of a human being yet attached on to the Spirit of God, which was Jesus Christ, in the body of Jesus Christ, even as he was born of himself, and even as he walked to and fro upon the earth, I was with him during his ministry up on the face of the earth. No other man can proclaim himself to be this here. This is Bible prophecy. This is coded in the content of Bible prophecy. Nobody considered this here, but because God knew that they were going to steal the image of the Bible that said Jesus was a white man. All them that don't deny him, the short image, in order for the white people to serve him, the black people to deny him, he pretended that Jesus was a white man and said black people was not a part of this. But I am living proof. That's reason God gave you the black horse in Revelation. He gave you a pair of balances in his hand. This leads back to Revelation. Isaiah chapter 1:6. It said, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw also the Lord sitting upon a throne high and lifted up. His train filled the temple. Above it stood the serpent. Each one had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, and with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he did fly. And with 2 he covered his feet. And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. Isaiah, after Elijah was called up and Moses was called up, it was attached on to Jesus Christ, spoken of in Isaiah. They're coming down now to be born and be slain in a format of 3 years. Moses was the wing that was covering the feet. John the Baptist was the head, or predicted by the spirit of Elijah. But Jesus was the wings in the middle. By them covering up, Jesus using the format that they covered the face and covered the feet, that means they didn't have no power to bear the burden of the flag. We had become down from heaven, from God, yet attached on to Jesus Christ, the Son of God. He had to bring us down here. Elizabeth, the mother of John the Baptist, was barren until Jesus brought the spirit of John the Baptist down here, which came from the spirit of Elijah. Once he came down and brought it down, and he disengaged and went into the womb of Elizabeth. There was no more barren, and when uh, her husband went into her, she conceived and bare John the Baptist. He was the one preparing the way for the birth of Jesus Christ. But I was yet attached on to Jesus Christ, the spirit of Moses, as Jesus went into the womb of Mary. So I was born as Jesus in this body of Jesus, but not as Jesus, but as an attachment yet onto him, because I was the messenger going to the grave with him to be living proof that he rose from the dead and that he was never ever the son of a man. Because had he been the son of a man, then I would have been born with him. But by Jesus not being the son of a man, when Jesus rose from the dead, I had to be rise with him. That's the reason God, Jesus, when he told him in John that I would send a comforter back to you. When Jesus went back, when he was slain, I was slain with him. After John the Baptist was beheaded, which was the wing that was coming to feed, the wing, the feet was the last one. So Jesus had to be slain. So I was yet with him. That tells you I was yet with him. So that's reason God gave you the image of the pigeon and the dove was not separated. When John the Baptist baptized Jesus, a dove came and sat on Jesus' shoulder. So when he said, Spirit of God, well, when he went up, he vows not being separated. He took me back up with him. And so when 1940s, in the 40s, after the World War II was completed, God was preparing for World War III. He sent me back here as a singer pigeon, as a messenger. A pigeon is used for a messenger, as a messenger at the return, preparing the way for the return of Jesus Christ. And that's when the second stage of Isaiah chapter 6, 1-3, 7 was fulfilled at that part. After going to the cross, he tells us what will happen to me after I come back. He said, this is the second stage, the birth of myself. Let me read this to you right here, what it said here, to give you a true definition how this came to be, how God did this. He showed you where the white horse became the red horse and the pale horse, but the black horse came to me. God had to have a symbol to me when I came back. As I came back as a pigeon, treading the air, as a messenger pigeon, treading the air, once I get back up on the ground, I had to gain feet again to show the symbol hadn't came back. So what he did was, he put me in the midst of the enemy of him, Antichrist, as the black horse, being born in the United States of America, where the white horse and the red horse and the pale horse were. So he stuck me in the middle. I came from the pigeon, treading the air on my arm to be a bird born. Let me show you this here. Isaiah chapter 6. Let me kind of slow this down. Above it stood the serpent. Each one had 6 wings. With twine he covered his face, and with twine he covered his feet. And with twine he did fly. And one cried unto another, and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. Let you know this was Jesus Christ. And the post of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. Then said I, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then flew one of the servants unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with the tongues from off the altar. And he laid it upon my mouth, and said, Lo, this hath touched thy lips, and thy iniquity is taken away, and thy sin is purged. This was the year of 1995 to 1997. When I came back on my own as messenger, God telling you what had happened. It was my house was firebombed because who I had.